Toronto Statues Come Alive, Episode 1, Horsing Around with Northern Dancer. In the first of a video series on the inner lives of local statues, Toronto brothers James FitzGerald and Michael FitzGerald interview the Canadian thoroughbred horse racing champion Northern Dancer outside Woodbine Racetrack on March 28, 2018. As a world-leading sire, Northern Dancer was widely admired as the only celebrity who earned $1 million before breakfast. Today, his genes are found in 70% of all racehorses. Nobody's perfect. I'm standing here at Woodbine Racetrack in northwest Toronto on a cold March day. This is Northern Dancer. I'm just, which they're touting this horse as the greatest thoroughbred stallion of the 20th century. This horse won 14 stakes races and 18 starts, and the others was either second or third. Thing that strikes me about this horse is that he's short. He's only 60 inches high. See, I'm 72 inches high. This guy is 60. Most thoroughbreds would be up a little around where I am. But this guy was something else. I did see him win the Derby and the Preakness when I was 12 years old, or I guess, something like that. He's a fine horse.
Thanks for saying that, Mike.
What?
I appreciate your kind words.
Is that you, Dancer?
Yep.
Wow. Well, so how's it like being out here at Woodbine, the scene of your second biggest triumph, winning the Queen's Plate?
You know, it's not easy being a Canadian icon. I'm right up there with, Wayne Gretzky and Marshall McLuhan and Howie Mandel and.
Well, not Howie.
Yeah, but it's a tough thing to bear, and I'm an animal.
You're not a bear. You're a horse.
But I got to tell you, I lived to 29, which is I didn't make it to 30. I'm kind of a counterculture hero,
That's good.
And they had to euthanize me, and they covered me in bronze and brought my body out here, and here I am.
But you knew all your pals at Stud, they would be euthanized too, right? I mean, that's how it ends.
It's true. And I gotta tell you, Mike, all the other horses in the stable down in Windfall Farms,
You mean Windfield?
No, it was Windfall because it was a $500,000 stud fee for E.P. Taylor, my boss, the pimp.
And how much did you get out of that?
I got a lot of hay. I made a lot of hay and a lot of oats. But I gotta tell you, all the fellow horses, they were envious. I mean, I was a stud.
How many did you stud?
They used to call me Hugh Hoofner. I was in the horse mansion having a ball.
Did you have a cravat or anything?
But apparently, I had to get up on some gizmo because I was so short. Some kind of.
Oh, for stud use. Yeah, you were so short compared to the average stud that the mares were bigger than you, so they had to build a little ramp for you. Remember that?
Yeah, it's kind of humiliating, Mike. I don't. Thanks for bringing that up. Well, let's talk about May '64.
Yeah, but you had 465 mares out of that. You wouldn't have had any without the ramp.
That's right, Mike. I sired 635 foals, and I didn't even have to take them out for a dinner or a movie first. 488 of those raced. 366 were winners, 146 were stakes winners, 26 were champions in Europe, the USA, and Canada. I mean, Canada strutted its stuff.
Aren't you worried about some inbreeding going on down the road?
Mike, there is such a thing called inbreeding depression.
In horses?
Yes. So of those 635, 150 didn't become racers, so I guess they became depressed.
Didn't they have Prozac for horses?
Yeah, so I guess they became police horses.
Makes sense.
Carrying around a cop on your back, that would be depressing.
Yeah, the worst one was to become one of those Central Park horses, right? Yeah. You didn't want to be one of those.
But you got to put things in perspective, Mike. I mean, 635 over 25 odd years. I mean, I was retired at 3, and I mean, I'm not up in there with Wilt Chamberlain or Warren Beatty or Mick Jagger. We're talking tens of thousands of chicks. You know, kind of keep it in perspective.
Yeah, and some of your successors are up in the thousands apparently now, but that's just modern science, I think.
That's right.
But for your day, yep.
So
One hell of a horse.
back in May '64, how old were you, Mike?
12.
12. And did you watch me on TV,
In
Mike?
horses years, I don't know what that is. Did I watch you on TV? Yes. Black and white, whole family. Remember when you were? I was in the parking lot with my family at the Royal Alex Theatre downtown when your race was on the radio, unheard of back then. All the horns started honking when you crossed the finish line in first.
Amazing.
But that was your second win on the Triple Crown, and then on the third, unfortunately, what happened there? You finished third.
The Belmont was a long race.
So it just, you were too pooped.
I didn't have the legs.
You did go on to win the Queen's Plate later that summer, though, which was the only horse ever to win both the Kentucky Derby and the Queen's Plate.
Yeah. I mean, I retired at 3. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you spent your time down in Oshawa at Winfield's Farm. That's where where they put you when you were euthanized, right?
That's right.
And all the developments have built up around you, but they're trying to stop you from being paved over. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
And you know, after I won the Derby and the Preakness I was on May 27th, just before the Belmont, for my 3rd birthday on May 27th, 1964, they gave me a big cake made of carrots adorned with the Canadian flag. And in 1964, the Canadian flag was a red ensign. Now that really puts it in perspective.
Carrots, eh?
Yeah. Maybe that's why I lost.
Were they chopped up or just a big bunch?
A big cake, carrot cake, which I munched down, and maybe that explains why I was 6 lengths back.
I guess so. But you sure gave it a good run.
I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And I got to hand it to Ingo Koblashek, who visited me in my dotage. Here I was, 29, down
Sorry,
in Maryland.
who? Ingo who?
Ingo Koblashek came down, and I posed in the nude, and he did this sculpture of me. It's pretty. It's an exact likeness. Mike, I'm 15 hands high, and you're what, 6'7"?
Yeah, so I'm like 18 hands. That's 18 of these.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll stop horsing around and rein in the bad jokes. Mike, if you climbed on top of me, they'd probably arrest you.
Yeah, it's just tall enough. I don't think the average clown here would try to get on. He'd slip off because you're kind of slippery. What are you made of here? It's not copper because you'd be stolen if it was copper.
Have you ever ridden a horse, Mike?
Yes, but they had to find one where my feet didn't touch the ground. So they found me a nice horse that was gentle, and I didn't fall off.
That's true.
Okay.
You know, Wind Placer show, pretty cool.
Well, it was fun horsing around with you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.